Welcome to It's Possible Podcast. This is where we teach people how to save money and plan their retirement so that they can retire without financial stress. And we bring excellent people on the show so that they can tell you what they do and how they support the community. Today I have with me Mr. Melvin Larry. Melvin, please take a minute, introduce yourself, and tell the people what you have for them today, please.
Wow, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm just excited to be here with you and someone like you who just give back so much to the community and your knowledge and your expertise and so forth. My background, I spent a career in corporate. I was with a little company, transportation company for many, many years, over 25 years. So I spent a career there, then went into real estate and small business, entrepreneurship. And all of that took me to the place where now I'm a podcaster. And so I'm taking the life experiences and so forth and work and business experiences that I've had and taking them into the podcast world. It's my way of giving back to the community, to my children.
That's really good.
Well, actually, it was a top Fortune 500 company. I was with FedEx for over 25 years. I started out loading and unloading airplanes, left there in a senior management capacity, decided I wanted to be an entrepreneur, go into small business or go into business for myself rather. And so I just stepped out into the entrepreneurial world, got my nose blooded up a little bit there as an executive recruiter, went into real estate. I'm still a licensed recruiter after 20 plus years. Don't work a lot in that area, but then moved into the direct marketing, direct sales space. Have done that successfully for a number of years as well.
So as you, on your podcast, how do you help people? Or what are the things that you teach on the podcast that people need to know about?
You know, it's interesting because when I started my podcast, I didn't think about it as that I would even be teaching people. I found myself going into that direction. Although I've done training a bunch of my career, my podcast was conceived in my mind as a way of just saying, I've lived all these years, I've done all of this stuff. I need to start leaving a footprint of it behind so that people know. Because, you know, people don't know enough about their past. They don't know enough about their legacy, about their grandparents and so forth. And so my initial objective was to let people know where you came from and how your life experiences, incidents, accidents, environments, how they all connect to where you are. So that's what led me to want to do that. And so the thing that I feel that I give back in my podcast is people to have the ability to have the awareness of the value of where you came from in your journey in life.
This is great because if you know where you came from, what's the benefit of knowing where you came from?
Well, if you don't know where you came from, you're most destined to repeat the places that you came from, whether you wanted to or not. Okay, and so it's important for us to be able to know who we are because it's all about mindset. And so that's why my podcast is called The Shattered Mindset, because our mindsets are sometimes just entrenched in what happens and not the value of what happened. All right?
That's good. Now, as you started, all right, so let me move back, because in the podcast we talk about money, finances. So in your trajectory, can I say this word, trajectory?
Yeah, man, you said it great. You said it like a syllables. Trajectory.
So how did you make any financial mistake?
Probably if you looked at the financial mistake journal, it'll say Melvin Larry. The thing is that my dad, God rest his soul, he was a hardworking man. He provided well for his family, took really good care of us, and he kind of had a hustler mentality. Although he was an honest, hardworking man, he was the kind of guy who could just do things, but he didn't teach it to me. And so I didn't understand it. I didn't know about what to do with money and how to do this with money. And I struggled because I just didn't know. And so I came from a place where I would be told, you should know how to do that rather than taught how to do it.
Yeah.
So I made a lot of mistakes, and that's why, I often say, vacations for my family, man, whose parents are we going to go see, yours or mine? Because I didn't know how to pull myself out
I see.
of those things.
So vacation is going to parents' house.
That's what it was back then. It's not anymore. Now it's going wherever we want to go.
Wherever you want to go.
Wherever
And
we
I
wanna
want you to talk about this a little more, but before we go there, you made some mistakes in your finances, and then now you're financially free, so you can go on vacation whenever you want. You do whatever you want. Money is not a problem for you. This is great. Now, what is one of the greatest things you've done with money?
Well, one of the things that I felt was necessary to do was to, make sure that I was learning about putting my money to work.
Okay.
All right. Because for me, money was always about two things, spend and save, and save to spend.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't about investing. It wasn't about making my money have children.
Yes.
And things of that sort. So I kind of had to learn those things. So I was too late in life for myself to come to the realization of those things. And there were just things that I just didn't get. It just didn't click.
Yeah.
I just didn't get it. And so so once I learned more about investing my money and and making it work for me and my family, and then positioning myself so that my children will have a future as well, is important to me. I'm by no means a money expert. I have so much more to learn about it.
Are you doing great, man? You mastered it.
Oh, no.
Shout out to Myron Golden. Myron Golden says that the reason why some people are broke is because their money is unemployed.
Yes, I love Myron Golden. And so, yeah, my money was unemployed, and it was just kind of sitting around on the corner,
So what advice, it's not financial advice, but what suggestion you would give to someone right now who may be thinking that they will not get to the age of retirement and they are not making plan for that? What would you tell them?
To immerse yourself in learning
about
finance. Immerse yourself in it.
Yourself.
But not just immerse yourself in it from reading and listening, but immerse yourself in it by association. And what I mean by association is getting around people who are doing the things that you would want to see yourself doing. Because another, you mentioned Myron Golden. Another thing is about the association, because he says, like many other people, I heard it before him say, if you're around 4 broke friends, you'll be fifth one. And so, and same thing, if you're around 4 rich friends, you'll be the 5th one. And so I think that you have to immerse yourself in the knowledge, the experience, the association of it. And then above all of that, you have to take action upon it.
Take action, yes. So this is powerful. You know a lot about money.
Well, I learned a lot about money by knowing a lot about not having any. I was an expert in not having any.
So talk to me about the transition of you not having enough money and now to be financially free.
Well, part of the transition is my experiences in life. Not my experience, but my experiences. For instance, I remember taking my son, who was as a child, to a high-end burger place. Think high-end burger place, all right? He's an adult now, but I remember taking him there. But what I remember beyond that is not being able to take him back.
Hmm.
So for me to be in a place where I couldn't afford to take my son to a burger place, whether you call it high end or not,
Wow.
it had an impact upon me. All right. And I knew also that I had on my job, I worked real hard. You know, I was the guy who the boss had to send home, said, go home.
Wow.
Because I was working so much overtime. They called me the OT king, you know, because I needed to make the money.
Yeah.
And I remember driving by my place of employment once, and my children were in the car, and my son said, that's where daddy lives.
Oof.
And my wife said, yeah, that's where he lives because he's always there. But here's the thing, Wilkin. I was there all the time, but I still wasn't able to provide my family with the lifestyle that they deserve.
Yeah.
That was hard. That was a hard thing. And then I injured myself on the job a number of times. And the straw really that broke it off is that I said, listen, I cannot be in a situation where my income, my lifestyle, my family's lifestyle is based on my physical ability to perform. And because if I'm based on my physical ability to perform, I'm limited because I could injure myself and short-term disability, long-term disability don't pay what full-time income pays, and I was struggling off of full-time income. All right, so I didn't want to be in a place where my income was based on my physical ability to perform. In addition to that, operating from my physical ability to perform limits my ability to scale in anything because I could only do so much.
That's true.
So I needed to position myself, and once I started learning to move from a place where my physical ability was, which gave me only linear income, to the place where I could learn about leveraged income and then renewable residual income, that's when things started to really click. And I realized that I needed to be in a place where I was earning residual renewable income and leveraged income.
Leveraged income.
See, and
talk to me about leveraged income. What is that?
Well, there are lots of ways to leverage income. I started leveraging in myself and my income when I moved from being a worker to a manager.
Okay.
Because I had teams of people working for me.
Okay.
All right. So I started leveraging myself there. That's my first understanding, my first experience in leveraging is moving into management and having teams and working with teams. Then I learned about building teams of people in business. I started very young in the network marketing space and learned about building teams of people where my income was leveraged as well.
Yeah, makes sense.
And so and so when I start to do that, to leverage income in those kind of ways through teams and so forth, it became a different thing. So
residual.
Now leverage and then residual.
Okay.
Residual, like for instance, people get weird about thinking about residual income and everything. For instance, they like direct marketing, network marketing, and so forth. And I'm not necessarily. Here's the thing. All of us live in a society that is based on subscription-based income.
Okay.
So if you have a utility bill, it's a subscription base.
Yeah.
They set it up when you're getting ready to move in, and you
That's
just
true.
keep
Now
paying.
everybody wants you to pay them every month.
Every month. And they don't think about it anymore because you're going to pay. You're going to pay the phone bill. You're going to pay the light bill. You're going to pay the internet bill.
Car wash.
Everything. The car wash. Everything.
I don't care.
Subscription
Yeah.
based. So I said, I need to start applying myself to subscription-based models where I can have recurring, renewable income coming in a subscription-based system.
Okay.
Leverage and subscription based or residual residual income. You write a book. You've written a few.
Yes.
The book will outlive you.
That's true.
When your 11-year-old is 30, the book will still be there.
Yeah.
See? And so that's a renewable revenue stream.
This is good. So now, someone who's watching you right now, they are in a space where they want to have this transition, right? Their income depends on their physical ability, right? If they're not there, the money is not being made. And they realize that, man, if I don't do something, I'm going to be in trouble. How do they make this transition? What is the first thing they do?
Reset their mind.
Reset your mind. Okay.
Yeah, because the thing is that our mindset is the thing that keeps us from moving forward with things, because most people, the vast majority of people, have a laborer's mentality. See? And, we think that in order for me to be successful for me, if I put in X amount of labor, I'm supposed to get a check. See? And they don't really think about building anything or growing anything or leveraging anything. It's just exchanging hours for dollars. Over time, we do this thing. We go to work, we come home. We go to work, come home. Go to work, come home. Now, what's level right now is we go to work, come home, go to work, come home. After a while, it starts getting deeper. Go to work, come home, go to work, come home. After a while, we just dug a rut for ourselves. And all somebody's got to do is come and kick us over because we just dug our own grave.
This is, and what you just said, like, reset your mind.
Yeah.
I know about that. I don't know if you read the Bible. But
I'm a Bible college graduate and a preacher's kid.
Really? Okay. The Bible says that, and as you say that, it just came to my mind.
Renewing of your mind.
Renew your mind. Like,
renewing of your mind.
Be transformed by the renewing of
your mind.
That tells me for there to be any transformation in any area of your life, there has to be a renewing of the mind.
But most of us do the other part of that scripture. We said, be not conformed, but we conform to the norms of society rather than renewing our mind.
Yeah.
All right. And so we conform, and it's easy to conform, and so we won't allow ourselves to step outside because our conforming allows us to live in a certain comfort zone. All right.
Yeah.
And in order for us to do something different, we have to step away from that comfort zone. So people will say, like somebody said to me a couple of weeks ago, hey, listen, I heard about you. I heard you were a big shot, in what you were doing. I said, no, I'm not a big shot. I'm just a little shot that kept on shooting, because some people they just don't keep shooting. I connected with a young lady in my business just a couple of days ago, in fact. And I said, okay, let's talk to some people. Let's meet with some people to introduce them to you and help you to, look at launching your business. So who are the people who you think the most of and think the most of you? Because you're not sharing your initial business with anybody right now. You're going to share your business. And so we talked to a couple of people together. And so one lady said, I don't know about you doing that. I'm not sure if you should do that. And so I said, that's good. I said, that's good. I said, if you're going to fail early. I said, but here's the thing. That's one person. I said, what if that one person had said, let's get all over this? You still have to talk to more people.
Yeah.
One person can't determine where you are positively or negatively.
Okay.
But when we have a conforming mindset, then we conform to the norms of what other people think.
This is powerful.
There's a saying that I used to use a long time ago. It's called a SNIOP. A SNIOP. You know, SNOP. SNIOP. Or SNI. It's susceptible to the negative influence of other people. SNIOP. A SNIOP. You know.
Wow.
And that's the way a lot of us are. We have all of these. We live a life as a SNIOP, where we are susceptible to the negative influence of other people and less susceptible to the positive influence of people.
This is good. Now, we are still in transition. Reset your mind.
Yeah.
Think differently about money, about how you work. So as you reset your mind, what is the next thing you need to start doing?
Well, you need to, there are three things that you first need to do. Number one, you need to be intentional about making a shift. Very intentional. You can't just you can't just say, you know, I want to make a shift. I'd like to make a shift. You've got to be intentional.
Okay.
I'm intent on doing this. All right.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like your wife saying, you know, make sure you pick your kid up from school, and you say, well, I intended to pick him up.
Yeah.
And she said, well, where is he? You said, well, I kind of had some other stuff.
Yeah.
Your intention, you know, you thought, I mean, you had a concept of doing it, but you got to really be intentional. And then once you've been intentional about it, the next thing you do is you got to be strategic.
Okay.
So you got to put a plan in place. When am I going to pick him up? What time? What have I got to make? Because I was intentional, but I wasn't strategic, so he's still not here.
Yeah.
So you got to put a plan in place.
Okay.
I mean, what do I need to read? What do I need to listen to? What actions do I need to take? And then the third thing you got to do is you got to be focused.
Okay.
Because everything's going to try to distract you, and everybody's going to try to distract you. You know, you're going to try to distract yourself.
Yeah.
The voice inside of you is going to try to distract you. You know, we talk ourselves out of more things than other people talk us out of.
That's true.
So you got to be intentional, strategic, and focused.
Intentional, strategic, and focused.
Yes.
To make this shift, to make the transition from.
Exactly.
Okay. So once you get there, okay, now they get it and they say, okay, I'm going to make up my mind. Now you are there. You made the transition. How do you stay there?
Well, that's it. You stay there because you're never there.
Okay.
See, you know, there is no there. Okay, because it's an ever learning experience. It's an ever growing experience. There's always so much to know. Okay, it's like if you earn 10 times more than I earn, are you 10 times better than me? No. But maybe you worked 10 times harder. Maybe you learned 10 times more. Maybe you were 10 times more persistent. Maybe you were 10 times more consistent. But I can change that about myself.
So you're telling me what I'm trying to get from this is, even if you make the transition, you are not there.
Because there is no there. It's kind of like saying, hey, listen, that's why we want to go to space. That's why it's called space, because it's this. Whenever you went to here in space, there's some more space to go to. See?
This is good.
All right. I earn as much as this person who's earning $100,000 a year. What about the person who's earning $100,000 a month? Okay. What about the person who's earning $100,000 a week?
Myron Golden said that. I keep talking about Myron Golden, man. Why?
Do you have like an affiliate for your podcast?
No, I mean, you better send me one. Really, Myron, you better send me one. Like one of his guys, not one. Many of the people he teaches makes $1 million a day.
Absolutely.
In one day. Do you believe that?
But here's the thing. I can't think of her name. She invested $1 million for a program. And then she had $1 million a day. So she didn't just have $1 million day. She put something in it to get something out.
Okay.
You know, so a lot of times what we do is we stand in front of the chimney and we say, give me some heat. But we didn't put any wood in. It's not going to give you any heat if you don't put any wood in. And so often we want to get something. You know, it's kind of like the person, and if you haven't had it, you will have someone who will say, you know, I want to be where you are. Mm-hmm. But you didn't just wake up and be where you were.
No.
You know,
work.
See, you had to do something.
Yeah.
You know, and people don't want to go through something to get to something. You know. And
okay. This is good. So now they are not there yet. So that means you got to keep doing the things that you do or keep evolving.
Because what happens is that, you know, we are like rubber bands.
Okay.
You know, if you see a bag, and I'm sure you've had a bag of rubber bands before.
Yes, I had.
The bag of rubber bands, they are no good until they're stretched.
Okay.
But you can stretch it around a bag of chips.
Yeah.
You could stretch it to hold some wires together.
Mm-hmm.
You could stretch it around a ponytail.
Yeah.
You could stretch it around different things. See? But it's no good unless it's stretching. And so whenever we get to the place where we are wanting to be, then if we don't stretch to the next place, then we stop growing, and and we're still not useless. We can be useless at any level.
Wow.
See,
I heard this guy say, if you're not growing, you're dying.
you're dying, just like food. Just like food. That's why when you get some food, they say you got to eat it by a certain time, or else it go bad. How many times has your wife told you that? Oh, we got to get this food out of here, but it's going to go bad. So it's either it's grown, it's got to be consumed, or it's going bad.
Yes.
You know, and so we are like that. We are either growing or we're dying. By the same token, we're either moving forward or backward. Some people say, "Well, no, I'm standing still." Well, you're never standing still. And the reason that you're never standing still is because life is and time is not standing still. So when you stop and stand still, it keeps on moving and it just moves past you.
You know what that reminds me of?
Yeah.
When I first got on the car, I remember. Because where I used to live, it was a remote place in Haiti. So nobody had a car.
Yeah.
Right? So if you were going to the city, you could pay and get on the car and the truck. So the first time my mom took me on the truck, it was something we were going to the city. I saw all the trees going really fast backward. I said, what's going on? The trees are running.
The trees are running.
But my mom said, no, they're in the same place. So as you say that, life is like the truck, like the car that's going forward, and we are like the trees.
That's right.
If we stay in the same place.
If we stay in the same place.
Wow.
We are going backward, you know. I mean, and some of the ways that we can look at that is with the technology. Because technology doesn't wait on anybody.
No.
Technology moves, and it moves fast.
Wow.
Really, really fast, you know. And so, and the things is, it seems like our children were born with technology minds, you know. And you can take a 9-year-old and they can fix anything on your phone.
2 years old.
You know? You know? And so my 4-year-old grandson, my 6-year-old granddaughter, they know stuff that I don't know about technology, you know. And so, but it moves, and so you have to move with it. You know, long time ago, they talked about moving with the cheese. You got to move with the technology. And not only that, but you've got to move with your money mindset too, because money, the concept of of money and how money works continues to move.
It changes.
Yeah, it changes, it grows, and so I might, learn something about trading Forex now, and next year it's like, wait a minute, it doesn't work like that anymore.
It changes every day.
It changes.
Yeah.
I'm like, how can this change? And so the thing is that our our principles and our values may not change, and they can too, but how we approach things has to change, and it has to move.
This is powerful what you just said. And the values, the core values never change. Even in the market, the core value does not change.
Yeah.
It will go up, it will come down.
Exactly.
This is a core value.
It
will go up, it's going to come down.
Exactly.
But the way it moves and does that may change.
That's
the
exactly
way you
right.
approach, this is
the way you
good.
approach that, right? And so it's an interesting concept about a money and a mindset, and where we allow it to go in life. And the thing about it is that if there's anything that I think needs to learn more about money, is that we have to, like going back to what we talked about, is make sure that it's working for us and not we working for it.
Yeah.
Because most of us spend our lives working for money, not making money work for us.
Now let me ask you this: how do you help people in your podcast and the things that you do right now? Let's say someone sits down and watch and listen to you. What are they gonna get from what you teach?
Well, I don't know what they're going to get. I can know. And I say that because you never know how a person receives things.
Yes.
Everybody receives a message differently.
That's true.
And how many times have you sit down and somebody said something, and maybe to you and your wife at the same time, and she said da 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 da, and you said, "Well, I didn't hear it that way."
Yeah.
Yeah. See, but the thing about it is that I want people to realize. Here's the thing. I believe that life is a series of dots and lines. Dots and lines. Okay. The dots are the things that happen to us, the incidents, the accidents, things that happen all through our lives.
Okay.
And the lines connect those dots. Sometimes we don't value that. We might say, I grew up in a poor section, and I don't know this to a fact, in a poor section of Haiti, and I didn't have this or I didn't have that, so life wasn't good, But what happened when you were 7, that affected this, that affected this, that affected that? See, because people know Wilkin to be the financial guy, but they know your glory, but they don't know your story. And people need to know the story.
Let me say that again. They know your glory, but they don't know your story.
That's right.
Whoa.
See? And so, but your story is what took you to your glory.
That's right.
Because if you didn't have your story, somebody who grew up in an environment where they had everything right there for them, they might not have pressed forward to get them to the place to do what you've done.
True.
All right? And so people need to know where they came from, but also we need to know our history beyond that, because we don't know enough about who we are. See, and where we came from. See? And so our children need to know that, because it's important, because everybody needs a sense of belonging and association with themselves. And you can't have a sense of belonging and association with yourself if you don't know where you came from.
This is good. So, wow, this is amazing. I think that I'm being wise now, listening to you. That's really good. Now, do you have any program, anything that you're working on that?
I'm working on a book,
Okay.
and it's a book that really deals in this whole area of mindset and overcoming limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
And understanding the value of the lessons, because the incidents that we have or the things that happen to us are just incidents unless we view them as lessons. Okay?
Say that again.
The incidents and accidents and things that happen to us, we view them just as incidents and accidents unless we view them as lessons.
As lessons.
And when we view them as lessons, instead of us as seeing it as something that happened to us, we can see that it's something that happened for us.
Oof. Okay.
But beyond that, it's something that happened for someone else. Because the things that happen to you
Yeah.
are things that drove you into the area of finance, which is helping other people. So the things that happen to you happen for you and for other people.
Wow.
So we all have a purpose in life.
We all have a purpose.
We all have a purpose, even when we think we don't. I used to look at people who were sleeping under the viaducts and on the expressway and everything, and I was like, man, why is that person there? But everybody's got a purpose. We just don't all realize our purpose or seek out our purpose. And that's why there's the book out called The Purpose-Driven Life.
Okay.
See, and so we have to have a purpose which feeds into vision. And when we get back, Scripture said, without the vision, the people perish.
How did you learn all of these things?
Well,
Because as I'm listening to you, I can just sit down and say nothing. You can just keep going.
No. It's funny that you say that about me, because I'm very introverted, and I'm not likely to be the one who speaks out. But that's why I wanted to do this, because I'm not the podcast. I'm not as likely to just be the person that speaks out. But this allows me to let that voice be heard, because I felt like if I've lived through the life that I have, children, grandchildren, work, business, and all that, then somewhere in there is some wisdom. Somewhere in there is some wisdom.
No.
And so I needed to impart that to people. I needed to give that to people.
This is good. This guy said that the richest place on earth is the cemetery.
Yeah, it is. Some people say that it's the richest. It's the richest place, but I would say that the most valuable treasures on earth are buried inside us.
Wow. This is good, man. So, if someone wants to get in contact with you, how would they do it?
Well, my podcast is on YouTube. The visuals on YouTube, and it's at the Shattered Mindset Podcast. So YouTube.com/@the Shattered Mindset.
Okay.
And I'm on Instagram at Melvin Larry 1 on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook, Melvin.Larry.
All right.
On Facebook.
That's good. Shattered.
Shattered.
What does that? Oh, okay.
Just like, think about a glass that hits the floor. It's shattered. You see, and the reason that it's shattered mindset is because our mindsets tend to be fixed in a certain thought process, and we need to break up that thought process, and think outside of the box, And that's why I want to break it up and shatter those old limiting beliefs.
What is one thing that's keeping people where they are, a belief or a mindset?
I'll say a refusal to believe that there is something else or something more.
Okay.
Most people, that old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, maybe it's not broke, but that doesn't mean it can't be better.
It can't be. Oh, okay.
Okay? See? May not be broke, but it can be better.
Yeah.
You know? This microphone here, before this microphone was here, it wasn't broke, but it could be better.
It could, yeah.
So what if we just said, don't change it? It's a microphone.
Yeah.
We still have those little dials with the round thing on them. Or something. Okay? So, yeah, it can be fixed.
Okay.
It can be made better.
That's really good.
See? That's a part of growing and stretching.
That's good.
Always finding a way to be better.
Find a way to be better.
Always find a way to be better. I had my granddaughter over, and she plays volleyball, and she was going to practice, and I told her there were some tough, players around. I mean, really good, and I said, the best thing that you can have is players that are better than you.
Okay.
Because that stretches you to be better and not conform,
That's good.
and not just be good enough. See?
Man, that's good. I could sit down here the whole day and listen to your
man.
wisdom, man.
Come on now.
This is good.
Come on.
All right, everybody. So go ahead and find Mr. Melvin Larry on Instagram, Melvin Larry 1. On YouTube, Shattered Mindset.
The Shattered Mindset.
The Shattered Mindset. So where you'll get all the wisdom in the Word as you sit down. I've been there. I've watched your videos on your podcast, on your channel. It's really good. Everybody, I encourage everyone to go ahead and subscribe to the Shattered Mindset, because this is powerful, man, the things that you teach. Yeah.
Thank you, my friend.
If you have a last word you want to share with everybody, what would it be?
Wow. I would just say that know that the only limits that you put on yourself, the only limits that you have are the limits that you put on yourself. The sky is the limit. Way back when there was a show on TV called Roots, and every time a child was born, the father would take the child, take them outside, and lift them up to the heavens and say, behold, the only thing greater than yourself. And so I just want us all to realize that there is so much more out there than what's right in front of us and what we've already accomplished. We can do so much more if we choose to do so much more. We just have to do it. Be intentional about doing what you want to do. Be strategic about your processes for going about it, and be focused. Push aside the distractions that can try to take you off your game, because there's something that's out there waiting for you that only you can do.
Powerful. Amen. That's all I can say. Well, everybody, thank you very much for watching the video today. Larry came on the podcast, Melvin. Sorry.
I'm both.
This is really good. I have to go back and re-watch this because I learned a lot today. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast
Thank
today.
you for having me, man.
Yes.
I'm so honored to be here.
Yes. Everybody, thank you for watching the video. Have a great day.